Welcome to Tag Talks Happy Hour with Ajit Kara. One part small talk, all parts real talk. This is the part of the day when Ajit gets to know the people behind the job titles at Tag.
Hello, my name is Ajit Kara and I'm the CEO of Tag Americas. I believe that every company's biggest asset are its people. And I'm very fortunate to work at Tag where I think we have amazing people. So I decided to do a podcast to really understand what makes them tick and who are the people behind the curtain, so to speak. Today I'm delighted that I've got Duanduan Chen. I've probably said that wrong, but I'm sure she's going to correct me when she gets to speak. She's an account director. Thank you. And looking forward to chatting to her. But as always, this podcast series is produced by Kaylie Stansfield. Hi, Kaylie. How are you?
Hi, Ajit. I am well today. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. What's new in your world?
What's new? You know what I'm doing at the moment? I'm making a list of things I should do before the weather becomes cold again. And right at the top of the list is roller skating in Central Park. Are you familiar with this?
I know roller skating.
Right, okay. So, Woolman Rink, they open it every winter for ice skating. This year, for I think the first time, they've opened it up for roller skating. Oh. So it's real 80s style. It's called Disco Oasis. They've got music curated by Nile Rodgers, and it's a thing from morning till night.
You know I'm a huge 80s music kind of guy.
I know. That's why I thought I'd mention it.
Yeah, I'm going to... I don't think I've ever roller skated.
Oh, well, this could be an interesting challenge for you.
Yes, I'll get my 80s attire out and give it a go.
Fantastic. I'll see you there.
Duanduan, thank you for joining me, and cheers.
Thank you, Ajit. Thank you for having me.
Wonderful. Now, have a sip of the wine. Tell me what you think of the Sancerre.
Very refreshing.
There you go. It's always nice to drink at work, isn't it?
Yep.
You've actually been with us for 12 years now, and I say that because you've had a pretty interesting career. Where were you actually brought up, and where have you come from?
I was born and raised in China, and then I grew up with my parents and my older sister in Changsha. It's actually the central capital of Hunan province. I spent many years in Shanghai and then a couple years in London, and then finally I moved to the US in 2014.
Wow. And then you moved, what made you move, the original move from, Shanghai to London? What made you do that?
Well, I made a decision to take a big challenge, which I think is the biggest challenge for me, to complete my master's degree in Central St. Martin's and the University of Arts London.
All right.
And then after I finished my degrees, and then I find a job at Tag London.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was very lucky. Started as a senior art worker at H&M Studio.
And you were then sent away, I guess, as Tag, sent back to Shanghai.
Yeah, that was crazy things. Short after I started working at Tag, and then my boss just asked me, say, I wanted to send you back to Shanghai. And then my instant answer was,
why?
No. I just started working at Tag and in London. I'm enjoying my life. I don't want to go back. So, well, we're starting a new office in Shanghai, and then we think you're the person to be there and then help us to grow that office there. So
wow. And how long were you there for?
6 years.
Wow.
Yeah. When I first moved there, I was the fourth person joined at the office. And then when I left, I think we grew about 40 employees there.
As you know, APAC and China specifically is a really growing market for us at the moment. And that part of the region has grown extraordinarily for Tag. And I'd like to say to all my APAC colleagues, they owe you something for being one of four that helped set up Shanghai. And I think it's fantastic because obviously I moved from the UK. Tag has embraced people moving around. And, what's astonishing to me is I'm seeing this, Kaylie, quite a lot, that certainly, from some of the strength of many of our employees that have moved continents at a whim, leave their families behind or, move with partners. It's just astonishing, really, and it's wonderful to see. And then what made you go so you went from Shanghai to London, London to Shanghai, then from Shanghai, was it back to London or straight to New York?
I was in between that 6 years, in between Shanghai and London, because I still didn't want to give up London. So,
was it the curry in London?
But really just, I love the culture, and then I just feel like I haven't had enough time to enjoy my life in London. But then I feel like I am more maybe suitable for Shanghai. I mean, being big fish in that small tank, in that Shanghai office, there's a lot for me to grow, especially I was just a senior art worker. And then I joined that office, even though I'm from local, I speak the local language, but there's a lot more for me to do. And then I started our first client, Adidas, and an H&M client, and then all from China, from Shanghai. That was all my first client. And then I had, at some point, I have to decide whether I wanted to stay with the production or I wanted to switch the gear to go really account management. And then I was a big things on my head where I should go. And then I asked myself, can I do both? And then the answer is no.
Well, and selfishly speaking, I want what's best for you, but please never go back to Shanghai. I'm sure that they'd love you. So
Yes.
stay. But I'm going to ask you, exactly. But I'm going to ask you a very difficult question. So how long have you been in New York now?
This is my 6 years.
6 years. Okay. So London or New York?
If it's the first year, if you ask me this question, the first year I joined New York, I was in London.
Right. But now home is home.
But now, obviously, it's New York, definitely. Just New York, no more, even no Shanghai, New York.
And where do you live in New York?
I'm in East Harlem right now.
Right, okay. It's an up-and-coming area. And tell me about your family. So have you got family?
Yes, I live with my husband and my 9-year-old daughter, Alex.
Oh, I've met Alex. And I remember her clearly. So when we celebrated Chinese New Year, I think it was, wasn't it? She came in and did a fabulous dance. So was that training from you? Does she go to some sort of school? It was amazing.
No, I think she is a little bit inherited from me, and then I love sing, and then she loved to learn Chinese, a song with me, and then we always sing together and then dance a little bit together. That was a Jasmine, I remember. I think the song. It was, yeah.
Oh, fantastic. When you were growing up, I've got to be honest, when I travelled China, and obviously I'm fascinated by, as everyone knows, countries, cultures, etc. I do think that we don't talk enough about how artistic Chinese culture is from start to finish. And, I remember sitting next to, when I was at school, a Chinese lady, and she was writing something, and you just see the artistry around how you write is just beautiful to see. And then you think about the music and the dance and the culture. It's a very rich culture that I don't think gets enough exposure. I hope you're very proud of that.
Yes, it's true. Although Mandarin, Chinese is the most difficult language, everybody's saying that. I'm trying to convince my daughter to continue to learn Chinese, Mandarins, and then Chinese calligraphy as well. It's very difficult. I'm not really good at it, but I did have a child dream that becoming a Chinese opera performer. I just, not because I like to hear the opera, but I'm more into the custom.
Can we get a few lines from you in Chinese opera? Can you sing anything?
Oh, I can sing normal song, but definitely not opera.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
And then what other parts of the culture do you love? What is it? The food? Is it the dance? Is it the music? Is it the history? What do you miss about? We talked a bit about when I went to Shanghai, and then I went to Xi'an, where the Terracotta Army was, and I'm always astonished at the scale and the history of China. The Great Wall of China. When I walked a bit of it was just astonishing. What takes your heart?
Always food.
Food.
Yes.
For someone that's incredibly slim. You might imitate people that eat a lot, yeah.
Yeah, you will never imagine how much Chinese eat. Believe it or not, we always order like big table of food. It's speaking about Chinese food, I do want to mention that one of our in my hometown, one of the famous snack is a stinky tofu. It's called a chou tofu.
Stinky tofu?
Yes.
Hang on, stinky or sticky?
Stinky.
Like smelly.
It's very smelly. It's a deep fried fermented tofu, and then deep fried, and then they will add the sauce, like a very spicy sauce. It's super tasty, but it does sound very odd. Stinky tofu.
Look, I do love enjoying different cultural foods. Maybe not some of the more exotic types of meats that some cultures have. That's not for me, but the traditional stuff, amazing. So that's fascinating. fascinating. And so you eat everything then?
Not really. I'm not into odd food, strange food, even my whole family, because it sounds odd, but it's really normal to Chinese, like the 1,000-year-old egg. I don't know if you ever heard about it. A lot of people saying it's just terrible.
It's not an actual 1,000-year-old, it's a terminology, isn't it, for a way you treat?
Yes, so it's duck egg and then fermented in the what it says, they see, I forgot the ingredients, but it's, I forgot that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, I can just about go to a quail's egg, but that's about it for me. And so back to your family then. So you have your daughter, you have your husband, pets?
Pets. So we don't have a pet right now, but my daughter, extremely wants a pet, in that order, cat, dog, and a bunny, and in that order. So.
Are you going to relent?
Maybe one day, I don't know yet. And then also my husband, he wants a trial alpaca.
What? In East Harlem?
Yes, East Harlem, exactly. We might have to wait for that for a while.
Well, if I see any alpacas roaming around Harlem, I know it was your husband has lost one.
Yes, absolutely.
Though, mate, I see a few. We live in Greenwich, Connecticut. When you go out, there's quite a bit of land. I've seen some alpaca up that way. It's actually quite a more common pet than you think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, as long as you have a backyard, they don't need a huge space, actually.
What does an alpaca give as a pet? That's the thing. I understand bunnies, cats, dogs. What does an alpaca give as a pet? Is it just, are they fun?
I think they're gentle animals, and then they like all stick together, and then I think they have a nice fur too.
Oh, yeah.
Soft,
yeah. You can make some nice cardigans with that.
Yeah, exactly.
So tell me a bit more about your hobbies. What do you like to do in your spare time?
After work, if the usual weekends, I go volunteer.
I know you do a lot of volunteering, actually.
Yes, I was just thinking that maybe we should start a volunteer committee.
Oh, we're going to.
Maybe.
Yes, it's on the cards.
Cynthia can do it in Long Island, and then I can do New York City.
We, as you know, we give charity days for people to go and do it, but we want to structure it more as a resource group. So you should do it, because I know you've always done that a lot around Manhattan, the
Yes.
Bowery Kitchen, etc. And I know that you're fascinated by it, but I'm interested in your swimming and diving.
Oh.
That's breathtaking. So you chose to become a diver before you could swim. I don't know how that logic works, if I'm honest with you.
Yes, that was another challenge, being learning how to swim as an adult. So
It's harder then, yeah.
Yes. I am a PADI certified open water scuba diver.
Oh my God.
And then
Down to how many feet?
it's 60 feet at the
That's
moment.
actually pretty deep.
It's okay. I wanted to become an advanced open water, so that allows me to descend to 115.
That's almost the maximum that you can go, isn't it? Before you...
Yes, that's pretty much, yes.
Just give me the order of this. So what made you want to become a free diver, and then you couldn't swim before you wanted to do this?
Yes, so I was really into it because I did a little bit of taste of it in the that was actually in Los Angeles. My husband took me, and then we did a really just trial in the swimming pool, and then I really liked the being underwater. You really hear, the peaceful you can never find from anywhere else. All you can hear is the breathing, the bubbling sound around you. And then that's it. And then I just decided I really wanted to be certified, and then I can go underwater, under the sea. And then I realized I have to learn how to swim. And then I needed to be able to swim 200 meters. And then, I just have to take the swim lesson before I can get certified. But then, in the end, I did.
It's typical of you, Duanduan. When you put your mind to anything, you achieve it, don't you?
It's like learning English before I decided to do the master degree.
And then have you had any What's the most interesting or scary experiences you've had free diving? I mean, going down to 50, 60 feet, you can see a lot down there.
But I have to correct you, Ajit. It's not free diving.
Oh, sorry.
So it's
just
scuba diving.
Scuba diving. Free diving's without the tanks.
Yeah, exactly. So that's quite different. Yes. So I dive mostly in Asia, Thailand, and then Asia countries. And then also recently in Mexico as well. I've never dived and then see any sharks. So that wasn't anything that scared me. But there was one time I dived into underwater wreck airplane.
Goodness.
It was a single-seated airplane, and then my dive masters, he went inside first. We knew there was an airplane there, and then that was our plan. But after he came out, he gave me the signal, I can go into there too. So I just decided to go. And then at the moment when I went in, it was really dark because it's not a night dive, and then I didn't have a torch. So it was really dark and spooky. I was imagining there will be some shark come out because I've never seen any shark before. And then my heart started pumping so hard. And then I know that I cannot be panic under the water because you're breathing like you run out of air very fast. So I have to remain very steady breathing. And then I felt like the airplane was moving and a little bit. And then I was like, I need to get out as soon as possible because I don't want to stuck in there because that airplane sits in a sandy slope and then down to 115 feet. So I don't want to stuck in there and then slip down there. I quickly come out and then that was so scary. And then we went back to the surfers. My dive master seems normal and he didn't mention anything. So I asked him, did you feel that airplane was moving? And said, no, actually not. It's all normal. So I realized it's all in my mind.
I think you're certifiably mad for going into a structure like that. Two, I know what you're talking about how the mind can do things. And when I tried scuba diving only in a pool, and it wasn't for me because when I was in a pool, and I can get the breathing and the listening to you, and you say it's quite relaxing. I'm okay. I'm a good swimmer, so I'm fine with doing that sort of stuff. My mind couldn't deal with it because all I could hear in my head was the theme tune of Jaws. Yeah, so I thought this isn't for me because if I ever did it in the sea, all I'd be obsessed with is that something's coming for me. So you're very brave in doing that. But
Thank you.
It's amazing. It's amazing that you can throwing yourself at that. Is your daughter or husband joining you for this sort of stuff?
My husband actually, he did, and then he got certified, but unfortunately he couldn't go down because his ear gets hurt so much, and then he couldn't equalize that much, and then he just decided to not going. However, Alex, she wants to be certified.
Wow.
And then when she turns 10, which is in October, and then we're going to do it together. She's going to get a U certified open water diver, and then I'm going to get my advanced open water diver.
Where'd you go locally from here? I mean, Harlem to Harbour, or do you have to travel?
I am planning to travel for sure because here the water is just too cold. I love tropical weather.
And dirty as well. You can't see much.
Exactly.
And famous people. Who have you seen from a famous perspective?
Famous people. Oh, well, that's, I've met a few, especially when I was in Central St. Martins. Yeah. The British fashion designer, Stella McCartney and Paul Jones. And then I watched their speech. And then also back in Shanghai, I met the famous Olympic gold medal winners, which is the gymnastic, Li Ning, his name. And then also Lewis Hamilton.
Oh, wow. And is Lewis Hamilton as nice a guy as I think he is?
Yes. I wasn't really expecting. And then I went to a Ferrari event, which was in the Key Club.
Love that.
And then from where I was standing, and then all of a sudden, I just heard the crowd roar behind, and then I saw a whole group of people coming towards to me. And I was like, wait a moment, is that Lewis Hamilton? And then I got a chance to shake his hand.
Oh, that's great. I do like celebrities that are grounded, that they know that they're there because of their fans. They're quite tolerant. I do think that's the way that it should be, rather than believe their own godlike stuff. And he strikes me as being someone incredibly down to earth. So I'm glad that you've not ruined that dream of mine.
Ask Ajit anything!
This is your opportunity now, Duanduan, to ask me any question that you might have.
Actually, I wanted to say that you are fulfilling my child dream here for a moment. My second child dream was to become a radio host. Of course, in speaking Mandarin, not in English, but
Speaks the Mandarin.
Yeah, we could try it in Mandarin if you like.
We can say 你好,谢谢,再见.
And that's yes, would be my answer. What did I say yes to?
Well, I basically said hello, thank you, and goodbye.
And closed mic. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you would have made a wonderful radio person, podcast person.
Thank you. Okay, here's my question.
Yes.
Like me, we both have a multicultural background.
Yes.
What challenges you have had where your different cultural background were at odds and then you had to make a choice?
Well, interesting question. So I don't think I've had to make a choice around the clashes. The only one I can think of is that because I think being born in India and, being a Hindu, of which I've got to apologise to my leaders, but my daughter's pointed out that when I talked about my ceremony on my hand, I got the wrong one. So it shows I know very little about my own faith. But then being brought up in the UK, which was a sort of Christian environment, I think I learnt respect for, all religions. So I had Jewish friends, Muslim friends, and Christian friends, and other Hindu friends. I enjoyed the kind of comradeship that you can have a different belief, but all have a common goal of, enjoying each other's companies and respectful of, each other's own beliefs. And therefore it comes back to the choices that I sometimes have. I don't eat beef. So I enjoy all other types of meats and proteins, but beef is not something that, as a Hindu, you have. And I've often wondered what it tastes like. Like, when you go out for dinner and you go to a steakhouse, which they're renowned for, and someone orders a 32-ounce, lean cut, and it's sizzling there. I actually do look at it longingly, and wonder what it tastes like. And I won't do it, obviously, but I feel conflicted there slightly. But I choose not to have it. But other than that, from a food perspective, I don't think I'm conflicted in how I've been brought up. I think most races and faiths bring you up along a similar theme, which is like, live a good life, be good to your family, be good to your friends, be honest, be hardworking, have faith, believe in something. And I think said in different ways, demonstrated in different ways, they all try to achieve that. So I don't think I've been conflicted on that.
Oh, I love the answer. Thank you, Ajit.
And for those people that don't know, I never know what these questions are, do I?
That's true. It's true.
Absolutely
Yeah.
true. I have no
Never
idea.
mentioned anything to you.
Yeah. So one day I'm going to get it horribly wrong. Duanduan, you are an inspiration in that you've, followed our company around the world. You've helped our business in many different ways. But apart from that, you're one of these people in the office that has a level of passion and excitement. You run many clients. You run a young team and being a mentor to those teams. But anything like the diving, anything you set your mind to, you achieve. And you're always so bubbly and energetic. And I just want to say thank you for being such a wonderful human being.
Thank you so much, Ajit.
Join us soon for another episode of Tag Talks Happy Hour with Ajit Kara and learn more about the people behind the job titles at TAG.